All right. Hello, everyone. So, in this video, I'm going to be doing a daily market forecast for tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be May 29th, 2026. So, Friday, tomorrow. The end of the week, the last forecast of the week. So, let's start by looking at the economic calendar. Let me pull it up right here. And as you can see, tomorrow we don't really have anything that's really interesting or, awaited. So we do have a GBP red folder and a Canadian dollar red folder, but overall, I think today PCE was the big story, inflation in the US. But then tomorrow, I don't expect much from the markets. So let's start looking at the dollar here. So the dollar at the beginning of the day today, it went up and it reached the target, the context target right here. And then it completely reversed. We can look at price action on the 5 minute, for example. You can see that the market opened, we went higher, reached the target, and then we completely dropped. So now, with what I'm seeing today with this, I would say that now we're turning bearish. Well, at least we're going to reach this as like the next target. And with this candle that we're seeing today, it does look extremely bearish. The weekly fair value gap has been mitigated, so this is not interesting anymore. So yeah, this is a very aggressive sweep right here. Very strong sweep and completely heading lower towards this low. So yeah, I think that overall tomorrow we might be seeing lower prices on the dollar, which is not great, honestly. That's not what we were expecting. But by the way, today, the market today on every single instrument that you can think about, maybe except the indices, the market did the complete opposite of what it was supposed to be doing. And that's mainly because of I don't remember what time it was, but it was during the morning around like 9:30 or 10 a.m. It's just Axios, the media Axios, they came out with breaking news saying that, the US had received some, or they were having kind of like um, a 60-day pause in the Iran US war, and that 60-day pause would allow them to negotiate further and reach some terms. And so that article came out on Axios, and so I saw it and I read it, but again, at the end it just said that it was just a rumor and that we had to wait for, the big man Donald Trump to approve it and see if it was in also in the US interest to sign this deal. And so that's what reversed all the markets this morning. And yeah, honestly, it was very random and again driven by news. So from tomorrow, I don't expect much on the markets. So right here on the dollar, like we said, we have the 4 hour fair value gap that we can continue lower from right here. And then if we look at the majors, they're probably not interesting. Yeah, GU, not great. EU, nope. And then USD JPY, no. They're all not interesting. Yeah, I think the week is really over by now. I think uh, the big moves for the week already happened. Then on gold, yeah, so gold also completely reversed out of thin air, out of nothing. It didn't reach any liquidity. It came close from the next liquidity pool, which is down here, but it never reached it. So that's a reversal out of thin air. And then on the 4 hour, we created this 4 hour fair value gap. So we can continue higher from that and probably reach this high right here. Well, that's the most logical thing for price to do. And today was random, so can we expect another random day tomorrow where price completely reverses and start going lower? Yeah, it's possible. It happened before. Um, yeah, I've noticed this, by the way. When there's a day like today, for example, that does something really unexpected and a very aggressive, unexpected move like today, usually the day that follows, so the next day after that, is also the same thing, which means that, yesterday we were expecting price to go lower. It did go lower for a bit, but then it reversed very aggressively like this. And so now for tomorrow, we're expecting price to keep going higher, right? That would be the logical thing right now is for price to continue higher. But sometimes the market decides to do the opposite and again do something completely random that we did not expect. So we'll see what happens. But overall, again, my the pledge that I've made to you in these YouTube videos is that I would always give you the highest probability thing for price to do. And right now, that highest probability thing for price to do is to continue higher here. So moving on to silver, very similar. Again, it looks extremely bullish. But again, reversal out of thin air, out of nothing, no liquidity down here. And for our fair value gap right here that we can continue higher from. So yeah, I think silver also agrees. I think we're gonna end the week higher here on the metals. And finally, crude oil. Oh yeah, obviously that was also the big surprise of the day. With that 60-day period terms or whatever, I don't really understand what was that deal that Iran offered today, but apparently it was good. There was a lot of optimism around it. So crude oil completely reversed as well, which it was not supposed to be doing. So right now, the next target is that swing low right here that hasn't been reached. And then from there, we see what price wants to do. But overall, yeah, crude oil, as you can see, it started going higher during the day, and then it randomly just starting going lower without any. It just didn't make any sense at this moment in time. But now it does make sense when I look back on it. So yeah, we have this 4 hour fair value gap that we can continue lower from and target this low, and then we'll see. But again, I don't expect crude oil to do much tomorrow. Then finally, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is creating a new fair value gap right here. So let's put an alert. That's actually really nice. Bitcoin is one of the only markets that actually moved like I expected it to move today. So I guess that's good. That turns into a fair value area. So yeah, Bitcoin has been respecting the overall order and is going in the right direction. And so now what we're expecting is a retracement inside this daily fair value gap to then continue lower. So Bitcoin is good. And then finally the indices, well, nothing crazy here. The indices, we just got the retracement inside the daily fair value gap, both on the S&P and Nasdaq, as you can see right here. Look at the accuracy of this thing. Sometimes I regret not being a futures trader. Look at this. That must have been such an easy setup to take, like such an easy, clear trade. Let me see. Yeah, look at the price action. It's beautiful. That's really high probability price action. Anyways, yeah, so new all-time highs today, overall on the indices, and tomorrow is again gonna reach a new all-time high, keep going higher, but I don't expect huge crazy moves tomorrow. There's nothing crazy. All right, well, that's it for the forecast. Honestly, I am personally done for this week. When it comes to trading, I think tomorrow is going to be extremely low volatility. We've actually already had a lot of volatility this week, which was not expected necessarily. And so I think that tomorrow, it's Friday. So take it chill, take a step back, and we'll be back next week. I think next week we have a good looking economic calendar. We can take a look at it quickly. Yeah, so next week we do have some interesting, and we have NFP also. Yeah, next week, I believe it's gonna be pretty nice. All right, well, thank you for listening, guys, and I will see you Sunday before 6 p.m. in the weekly forecast. Thank you.